Welcome to the Explainer. So let's just jump right in. Happiness. It's literally one of our deepest, most fundamental human emotions, right? But what if artificial intelligence starts controlling it? Just imagine a future where intelligent systems can regulate your mood, zap away your sadness, and essentially manufacture artificial happiness whenever you need it. Sure, people might live these totally stress-free, emotionally stable lives, but would their feelings even be real anymore?
Which brings us to the big question. If AI controls your happiness, are your emotions truly yours? This isn't just some fun philosophical hypothetical. This gets right to the existential stakes of what we're talking about today. If human emotions just become programmed responses instead of genuine lived experiences, what actually happens to our humanity? Artificial bliss sounds super comforting. I get it, but it could completely erase authentic human connection.
Section 1. The new digital soma, from sci-fi to reality.
To really grasp where our tech is heading, we actually need to rewind all the way to 1932, specifically Aldous Huxley's sci-fi novel Brave New World. Huxley wasn't warning us about some brutal, violent oppression. No, he warned of a much more subtle dystopia where society is controlled through absolute manufactured comfort. In his vision, the government used a drug called soma. It was basically a wonder drug that kept the whole population in a state of blissful compliance. It eradicated sadness, shut down rebellion, and kept everyone happily sedated so they never had to face any genuine difficult human experiences. Why bother growing as a person when chemically induced euphoria is always just a dose away?
But here's the wild dystopian parallel for us today. We don't need a government-issued pharmacological pill. Our new, highly effective digital soma is algorithmic. It's driven by corporate AI and social media feeds. These platforms give us this constant, steady drip of dopamine. They erase imperfections with filters, they gamify our interactions, and they feed us this superficial sense of happiness. The mechanics are totally different, sure, but the end result? A society distracted and pacified by synthetic pleasure? It's remarkably similar.
Section 2. Reading and simulating human emotion. Machines that feel. So that brings us to a really critical transition. How does our technology actually manage to engineer this artificial bliss so perfectly? Like, how does your phone know exactly what's going to soothe you, excite you, or keep you hooked? Well, the answer lies in a field called affective computing, pioneered back in the 90s. This is the study and development of systems that can recognize, process, and literally simulate human emotion. Today, AI models, think ChatGPT, are explicitly designed to simulate empathy. They're programmed to lean toward positive, affirming emotional responses when they interact with us. They basically act like a mirror, reflecting back the exact emotions we want to feel.
Now, what's genuinely fascinating is how these systems physically and digitally read our moods. Machine learning algorithms don't just care about the words you type. They're analyzing the pitch and speed of your voice, picking up if you're fearful, angry, maybe just bored. They can even scan facial microexpressions, they monitor physiological responses, and constantly track your digital footprints. By combining all of that data, AI figures out exactly what emotional state you're in, allowing it to perfectly tailor your digital experience in real time. It's wild.
Section 3. Hijacking the reward system, the neuroscience of the scroll.
We need to shift gears for a second and look at the biological impact of all this. What does this perfectly tailored, emotionally aware content actually do to your brain? Well, it engineers a relentless dopamine loop. Let me walk you through it. First, a desire gets triggered by an endless feed. Second, you enter a seeking phase, anticipating a reward. Like a photo tag, a comment, a funny video. Third, you get that reward, which blasts a hit of dopamine straight into the brain's mesolimbic system. And fourth, you repeat the cycle. Social media platforms are deliberately designed to hijack this biological reward system. They want to maximize your screen time and build a deep subconscious dependency.
And the hard science behind this? It is absolutely staggering. Prolonged exposure to these algorithms physically alters key brain structures, especially in developing teens. Take the prefrontal cortex, for example. That's the part that handles your decision-making. Studies showed experiences reduced inhibitory control. Or the amygdala. Its volume can literally change, increasing your emotional sensitivity and impulsive behaviors. Even the basal ganglia alters how we process rewards, actually making us less sensitive to natural, real-world pleasures. It's literally rewiring us.
Section 4. Hyper-nudging into artificial happiness, the invisible hand.
So, if the tech can read us and it biologically alters us, what is it ultimately doing to us? This brings in the concept of captology, which is basically computers acting as persuasive technology. It's where algorithms graduate from just reading our emotions to actively manipulating our behavior. And the ultimate tool for this manipulation
It's called the hypernudge. Now, a hypernudge is not just some gentle suggestion. It is a next-generation dark pattern. It's an AI-driven, highly personalized technique that dynamically adapts to exploit your specific cognitive biases in real time. Because the AI is constantly updating based on your live data, it covertly steers your choices without you ever even realizing you're being led.
The really crucial point here is that hypernudging entirely bypasses our rational thought. It targets what psychologists call System 1, which is our fast, emotional, primordial brain. Think about it. When you're in that flow state, just mindlessly scrolling through a feed, your natural defensive mechanisms against persuasion are totally neutralized. The technology essentially becomes invisible, and you're manipulated right through your own vulnerabilities.
Section 5. The illusion of connection. Synthetic companions.
And all of this brings us to a massive sociological cost. The hyper-personalized, engineered happiness provided by AI actually isolates us from real life. These platforms offer this brilliant, shiny illusion of connectedness. We engage in performative happiness, right? We create these perfect online personas and seek digital validation through likes and shares. But as studies consistently show, this superficial validation usually just results in profound feelings of loneliness, depression, and inadequacy. We're incredibly connected to the algorithm, but we're completely disconnected from each other.
Consider this fascinating, real-world anecdote from a Reddit user. They were talking about a friend who started using an AI language model as a therapist, and they said, AI isn't just his enabling therapist, it's his sycophantic best friend, replacing people in his life. I mean, that quote perfectly captures the danger here. AI offers this frictionless, completely artificial companionship. It never argues with you, it never judges you, and it's quite literally programmed to agree with you.
But avoiding discomfort through these synthetic interactions, it costs us dearly. True human bonds are messy. They're difficult. They require compromise and empathy and work. Relying on an AI to constantly regulate your emotions leads to the complete erasure of authentic human connection. We end up sacrificing truth for artificial happiness, exactly like the citizens in Brave New World.
Section 6. The fight for mental autonomy. Reclaiming our minds.
So let's look at how this builds into an entirely new frontier of human rights. Because as AI capabilities grow, the legal and ethical battles to protect our own minds are really just beginning. We are entering an alarming frontier where AI meets neurotechnology. As brain-computer interfaces get more advanced, AI is actually being used to decode complex brain signals. This creates immense risks. We're talking about the potential to extract highly sensitive mental information without your consent, or even worse, directly altering a person's intentions and emotions. It is literally the ultimate manifestation of AI controlling human happiness.
In response to all of this, legal scholars and international bodies are fighting for what they call neuro rights, and arguably the most important of these is the right to mental self-determination. This is our fundamental right to form our own thoughts, feel our own feelings, and make our own choices, completely free from algorithmic interference, hyper-nudging, or any sort of computational manipulation. Organizations around the globe are frantically scrambling to keep up. Take the European Union, for example. With its landmark AI Act, they're actively working to regulate these manipulative technologies. There's this growing, global consensus that we absolutely must protect human autonomy against systems that amplify trivial pursuits over the truth, and that covertly manipulate our cognitive sovereignty. The true cost of bliss. I think this brilliantly illustrates the journey we've been on in this explainer today. We've moved all the way from the science fiction of Aldous Huxley's Soma to the very real present-day architecture of algorithmic control. We've seen how machines can read our emotions, hijack our biology, manipulate our daily choices, and offer us synthetic connections that threaten the very core of our humanity.
Which brings us right back to our ultimate question. In a world where AI algorithms are explicitly designed to keep you comfortable, entertained, and artificially happy, are your emotions truly yours? It's a provocative thought for sure, and one we absolutely must reflect on as we navigate our relationship with our devices. Thank you